Hey everyone, welcome to another special episode of the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast, part of the Cincy Jungle podcast channel. I'm Anthony Cosenza. Unfortunately, my partner in crime, John Sheeran, couldn't be here for this special interview, but we've got another special guest, the second member of the day from the Bengals 1981 Super Bowl team, Mr. Charles Alexander, part of an all-star backfield on that team. How are you, sir? Joining us
I'm
from
doing
Houston.
great. I'm doing great,
Sugarland.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
70-degree weather here, man. What are you guys doing?
Well, I'm in Southern California, so
Oh, okay, all right.
yeah. So I've got that. You've probably been hearing that the Super Bowl in LA is in the 80s right now. So I'm sure we're making a lot of people in Cincinnati jealous with how warm
Yeah.
it is in our respective areas. But good to have you on. How have things been going?
Oh, I can't complain, man. It's been great. Life's been good.
Well, we're going to hear a little bit about, some of your go down memory lane and talk about your
All right.
experience with the team and your Super Bowl run and whatnot. But I first want to get your thoughts on this year's team. You've got some connections because of some LSU alums that are on this team and whatnot. So you may be paying attention maybe a little bit more than usual, but your thoughts on this year's team in terms of where they started, where you kind of thought they would be. And did you picture them going this far at this point in time?
Quite honestly, no. I thought, you know, I thought if the guys could go 500, that would be a winning season for them. But I never, in my wildest dreams, would imagine the Bengals being in the Super Bowl. Sometimes it takes a little while to build a team, and Joe Burrow's pretty young, and Chase is made Rookie of the Year. So I just didn't think that things would happen. But I always thought that once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen.
Now, when you were on that 81 team, that was just before my time, but I'm trying to think back. I mean, I know quite a bit about the team and whatnot, but I'm trying to think back. What were the expectations around your team that season? I mean, was it kind of a similar thing where people thought, yeah, they'd be pretty good, but definitely not a Super Bowl contender? Or was that kind of a thing where, hey, they've got a lot of veteran guys on this team, some stars, that especially on offense, and maybe they could make a run of it? What were the expectations around your team at that time?
Almost the same thing as
Really?
current Cincinnati Bengal team now. Nobody ever thought that that we had the talent to go to the Super Bowl. We were just happy to make it to the playoffs because the season before, I can't remember what our record was, but we didn't have a winning record the season before. It was I think it was my third year in the NFL, third or fourth year in the NFL. And we were a relatively young team. And, like I said before, we got in the playoffs and things started to click. And next thing you know, we were in the Super Bowl. We only had to win 2 games. We beat Buffalo, and then we beat the Chargers, and third game was the Super Bowl. So just happening.
Yeah. By the way, our mutual acquaintance, Mike Holbrook, he's got a nickname for you. He keeps telling me to call you your nickname there, Chucky Fred. I don't know.
That's my Cincinnati nickname.
Yeah.
Nickname,
So,
yeah.
Mike
Thanks
connected
a lot,
us.
Mike. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't know if I wanted to share that. I said, "Are you sure you want me to share that?"
No, I'm all right with it. I don't know why.
Right.
I'm a guy with many nicknames, man. I probably got at least 4 nicknames. And when somebody calls me one of those names, I know exactly what area of the country they're from. From high school to either LSU. High school, they call me Mule, Mule, like
Okay.
like a jackass, And they call me Mule because I guess they thought I was stronger than most guys on the team, so they called me that. And then I got to LSU, they called me Sweetness, which that was an honor because that was kind of it was nicknamed after Walter Payton. So
Right.
I didn't mind that one.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how I got the Cincinnati nickname. We were back in the day. we used to get our paychecks on the airplane on the way back in training camp. And somebody happened to get my paycheck, and my name was on it. My full name was on it. And my name is Charles Fred Alexander Jr., and that was on the you could see it through the envelope. And man, after they got that, and they took it and ran with it, and nobody ever called me Charles anymore. They called me Chucky Fred.
Chucky Fred. Was that
Yeah.
teammates, or was that coaches, or what was
that? Was the teammates. That was
okay.
my teammates. Yeah, I can't remember who actually gave me that name, but yeah, I didn't answer to Charles anymore. It was Chucky Fred.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned there's a lot of LSU players. You obviously being from LSU as well. I want to ask you about some stuff about that in just a little bit, but there's some LSU players, especially mega stars on this current team in terms of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. I think we were all, for the most part, not very surprised at Joe Burrow maybe hitting his stride pretty early on, maybe not Super Bowl stride second year, but I think we were all we kind of figured he'd get things figured out pretty early in his career. But what about Jamar Chase? Because he didn't play football at all last year. Granted, he had the rapport with Burrow from college, but were you surprised, even with all the talent that Chase had, that he just kind of hit the ground running and was as impactful as he was, seeing that you knew him from LSU and then obviously now on the Bengals?
I knew eventually he would get it. He did have a little adjustment period in the beginning, dropped several passes, but people don't realize that there's a little difference in the football from college to professional. You got a little white stripe on both ends of that football in college, and then in the NFL, it's just a plain brown ball, and you don't have to focus or concentrate as much in college because of the white stripes. That little thing really makes a difference, and I think it took him a while to get used to that. Plus, like you said, he had been out for a year, and he had to adjust to the speed of the game. And but once he caught on, it was a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And I'm just so proud of both of those guys. They just had a great year. I think you got two more LSU guys on the team too. And I was speaking with someone today. I said, "Man, that's 6 LSU guys playing in the Super Bowl. That's unbelievable."
Yeah, from both teams. Yeah, you've got Whitworth from way back when,
Whitworth,
who was
the
also a
offensive
Bengals.
tackle.
Yeah, right. And then
you
got
Odell Beckham Jr. Right.
Yep.
So it's LSU is well represented. Hopefully they'll use that as a recruiting tool next year.
Yeah. They man, a little bit of a rough go after that Burrow championship run there. You were part of an insanely talented backfield as a running back with the Cincinnati Bengals. They had Pete Johnson. They also had Archie Griffin, and then yourself, all outstanding college running backs, and then had great pro careers in your own rights there. And obviously we're big contributors to the Bengals making that 81 Super Bowl run and whatnot. But when you were in the draft process, I know it's quite a bit different now than it was when you were drafted, but what was some of the pre-draft conversations, if you had any, with Paul Brown, some of the brain trust there, and their emphasis at the time of, hey, we want to have a multi-headed running attack. We want to be a ground and pound football team?
That's a very easy question.
Okay.
I never heard from Cincinnati until I was drafted.
Really?
Yeah, never.
First round pick, and they really
nobody worked me out. Nothing. I guess they just watched film, and that was enough.
Wow.
I knew the Bengals had 2 picks in the first round, the 3rd pick of the first round, and the 12th pick. And Jack Thompson was taken with the 3rd pick, and I was taken with the 12th pick. So that was an easy question.
Yeah, that's actually really surprising.
Yeah, I was shocked that the Bengals picked me because no one ever called to even talk to me on the phone. And next thing I know, I'm at a press conference in Cincinnati. But it worked out fine. I enjoyed my time in Cincinnati.
Well, that's good. I actually just, that blows me away that they didn't really reach out very much, and maybe they just were like, hey, this is the best guy available, and we're going with it. They still utilize that strategy a little bit today. So that's really interesting to hear about that. But going
Yeah.
back to your Super Bowl run here, you actually had quite a bit of contributions there, especially in the Buffalo Bill game, the game against the Buffalo Bills. You had 2 touchdowns in that game. But what are some of your, take a stroll down memory lane a little bit? What are some of the memories you hold near and dear about the Super Bowl, even though the result of the game did not go your guys' way?
Well, I remember it being cold in Pontiac. I remember that. I remember. I'm like, man, trust me. I was thankful. I was happy. I was elated that I got to go to Super Bowl. But I was like, man, wish it was in Miami or wish it was in California. uh, we all had rental cars. Nobody was. I don't know. I know I didn't use mine. A lot of guys didn't use their rental cars because we were scared to go anywhere. It was ice and snow everywhere, and nobody wanted to get stranded or tear up a
Mhm.
rental car. So we just kind of stuck around the hotel and hung out there and went to practice when we had to go to practice and meetings. Uh, but it was. I remember one thing I definitely remember is the price of the tickets.
Hmm.
uh, $75, if my memory serves me right. And after you invite your family, you don't want those tickets to be like they are today, man. It's
Right,
unbelievable.
right.
Those tickets are, I think they're going what, 2,500 to
Oh,
$3,000
that's
each. That's face value.
that's
Yeah,
on the, yeah, that's on the low
yeah,
side there. Yeah,
right. And that's not going through StubHub. So
yeah. Right, right.
when you're going through that, you're going to probably pay 10 times that. So it's a whole new ball game. But I do remember, and getting to the game, I remember we were a little uptight. Uh, Guys were not, we were excited about being there. We tried to stay focused. But and the reason I know we were uptight, we actually had 2 guys get into a brawl maybe an hour before the game about who was going to go first in the tape line to get the ankles taped. So
Wow.
yeah, we had a couple of guys go at it, and I was like, man. So we didn't really play too well the first half.
Yeah.
We were down 20 to nothing at halftime, and I was, and I'm not sure I'm not the only one, but I wasn't looking forward to going back in that locker room at halftime and dealing with Coach Greg because he was, he wasn't a happy camper, but
Yeah,
he really
yeah.
he kind of fooled us a little bit. We were thought he we I know I did. I thought he was going to go and start throwing chairs and screaming and yelling, but he didn't. He just said, "Look, uh, we're at the big dance. We're not playing like we're capable of playing. Let's just relax and go out there and play like I know you can." And that was pretty much that was it. And we broke off into some individual meetings, made some corrections, and we ended up making a game out of it at the end. The
Mhm.
final score was 26-21.
Right, right.
Yeah, so it was, but it was a great thing to go to the Super Bowl. I'll never forget it.
Well, we're talking with Charles Alexander, a former running back of the Cincinnati Bengals, member of the 1981 Super Bowl team, and former first-round pick of the club. A surprising first-round pick, I guess, on your end, in some ways, based on what you were just telling us, that the Bengals took you that early. But hey, we just had earlier on, I was telling you before we took the air, we just had Ken Anderson on as part of our Super Bowl coverage. You talked about kind of how Forrest Gregg was maybe a surprising calming presence amid that 20-0 deficit in that game. Obviously, you kind of roared back. Everybody played well, including Ken. I just kind of want to maybe get your thoughts on him in that season in terms of a leadership role, and obviously the fact that the team had that iconic win in the Freezer Bowl the game before the Super Bowl. I don't know. Just talk about your team's quarterback that year in an MVP season, and maybe how he had something to do with the fact that you guys played well and came back in that Super Bowl.
Uh, Kenny was never say die quarterback. Uh, they drafted Jack Thompson, and this is just me talking. I can't swear to this, but I think they drafted Jack Thompson to replace Kenny Anderson. And everybody at Kenny was getting a little bit, long in the tooth, but looked like the older he got, the better he played. he was tough as nails, man. I think the big thing about Kenny that particular season that he stayed healthy. He was fortunate enough to stay healthy most of the season. I think he did have an injury or two at the beginning of the season, but once he got healthy, he played like he was lights out, man. And then in the playoffs, the game that really impressed me with him was the San Diego game, where the temperature, I think the temperature was, I know it was in the negatives. It might have been like negative 10, -9 or whatever. But I do remember the wind chill was a -59. And to play and throw the football like he did under those conditions was just crazy, unbelievable. Dan Faust came in from San Diego and wasn't accustomed to the weather, of course. And I guess Kenny knew about the weather because he got a chance to practice in it and knew not to throw the ball up too high. And, basically, we did a lot of short passes to keep the ball in play, and he did a great job of that. He's a guy that really got us to the Super Bowl, though, because that was one of his better seasons.
Yeah, most definitely. You also played, if I'm not mistaken, albeit kind of briefly, under Sam Weish, correct? So,
my last 2 years.
Yeah. I'm curious. I haven't asked anyone about this, so I'm curious your mindset. And I don't know how well you know Zach Taylor, or maybe you see and hear some things about him. But to me, there kind of seems to be a little bit of a parallel in terms of maybe the second team, the second Bengals team that made it to the Super Bowl, the 1988 team, and just kind of the creativity, the wizardry, if you will, of Sam Weish that year, and kind of a little bit of the same thing. Youthful energy, confidence that Zach Taylor exudes. I don't know if you see any parallels or similarities there between those two coaches, but I'd love to hear about your experience under Weish.
Yeah, it seems like you said it earlier. I hadn't met Zach Taylor, but I did play under Coach Weiss for 2 years. And I've been watching the Bengals more this year than recently because of the two LSU guys too. But I've been watching them. I watch them every year, but in particular this year, I don't know if I missed a game because it was really exciting brand of football that they played. But Coach Weiss was I would say, an innovator. Came off of the 49. I think he coached with the 49ers before he came to be head coach of the Bengals.
Right.
And was an innovator. I think we were the first team to go with the no-huddle offense back in the mid-'80s, 84, 85, the no-huddle offense with Boomer. And next thing you know, the NFL is a copycat league. And, if you're successful doing one thing, everybody started doing a little version of their little no-huddle offense. So, but Coach Weiss used to tell a lot of jokes and kind of keep the team loose, and we liked that. And it was but when he needed to get tough, he knew how to do that too.
Yeah, kind of flipping the switch a little bit, it seems, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I just before we kind of talk about your business venture and get your predictions on the game, I want to go back to your playing days at LSU. We've talked a lot about that. Obviously today, LSU SEC football is kind of NFL minor leagues, I guess, if you will, an NFL farming system, just because of the competitiveness and all of that. What was it like in your time? Was it still the same kind of tough, talented, smash mouth brand of football? And obviously when you come from LSU and that SEC conference, there's a lot of I'm trying to think of the word, like notoriety, or a lot of you you come battle tested, right?
Right, right. Well, one thing that's different that they just implemented in college football is that what is it? Name, image, and likeness.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wish they would have had that when I was there. But when I was at LSU, and even and not just LSU, it was the whole SEC. Man, it was 75% run the football. You know, it's a little bit different now. It's more of well, everybody passes the ball more in not just the SEC, but all college teams. And football's just changed a little bit. It's more of a passing game now than it is running
Yeah,
the ball 30, 40 times a game
right.
and beating
Right.
everybody up. So I think to win consistently though, you gotta have a little bit of a running game so they can respect the running game and but you're gonna make your bread and butter off throwing the football these days. It's just a different brand of football.
Yeah. Well, before we get your prediction on the game and kind of what you think are some of the keys to it, I've been asking a lot of former Bengals that we've talked to this past week or so about their their thoughts on the Brown family, what it means, what you think it means to them for them not only being back at the Super Bowl, but potentially finally hosting a Lombardi Trophy. I know there's kind of some narratives about the Brown family and the Blackburn family that have been painted by the national media that may not necessarily be wholly true about them, and the resonating theme that I keep hearing is that, you know, regardless of anything, they love football and they want to win. But I guess I'd love, since you had experience under Paul Brown, you've been around Mike Brown, I'd love to hear kind of your thoughts before we get to your predictions on, you know, what you think this entire experience means to that family and if they were to win it.
Well, they always tell me the third time's a charm, so I'm definitely I'm hoping that the Bengals can pull it out this time for Mike Brown, and I know his father, Mr. Paul Brown, is looking down on this and saying "Who they?" and I can remember those two being. I mean, really, they did not miss a practice. You know, regardless of the conditions. They were. It could be raining, it could be cold out there, or whatever. They made sure that they attended practice.
Hmm.
The only time I can say that they got involved in, I said a few things at practice. It was the practice before the San Diego game. Uh, that I was talking about the San Diego game with the 59
Mhm.
below wind chill. They actually, I think I saw him whisper to Forrest Gregg and say, "Let's get out of here. It's too cold to be out of here right now." think the practice lasted a little bit too long for them that day, and it was just the day before the game. So, but yeah, they were a joy to be around. They would accept your phone calls. They talk to you. They just were good owners, and I'm hoping that Cincinnati wins for them uh, just as much as I am for the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah. Well, what do you think happens this weekend? And how are you watching? Are you watching it at home? Are you going somewhere or what?
I'm watching it at home, inviting a few friends over, but it won't be
Nice.
very many. I like to watch the game where I can hear the television and hear the commentating and just enjoy the game. I don't
Mhm.
like to be. I've tried this other way before with the 50 people, and you
Can't pay
can't enjoy
attention.
the game. You don't know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Right.
You especially if you have it at your own house. You're worried
Right.
about does he have enough to eat, or does he need something to drink? So
Right.
I kind of cut all that out, and just basically I'm gonna enjoy the game and watch it and study it and see what happens, man. Because there's a lot of my friends in this area that are Dallas Cowboy fans. They're upset because their Cowboys not there, and they're not
That's
wishing
right.
us well. So
Oh,
we'll see what
okay.
happens, though.
Okay. You got a prediction about or thoughts about how this one's going to play
Oh
out?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Uh, I wrote it on a piece of paper here.
Oh,
34 Cincinnati, 28 Rams.
oh, I love it. That'd be an exciting one. Wow, that's a lot of
Gonna
points.
be a
Yeah,
shootout, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a
yeah,
shootout. And
yeah. I
Mr.
love that.
Nixon's gonna be your MVP.
Oh, see, that's my sneaky pick.
Uh-huh.
That's my sneaky pick for MVP. I like that.
Look, I
I
threw a
like that.
curveball at you, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
running back picking a running back for the Super Bowl MVP. I love
Oh,
it.
of course, of
I
course.
love it. We've been
Yeah.
chatting with Charles Alexander, former running back and first round pick of the Cincinnati Bengals, member of the 1981 Super Bowl team. And it's been awesome catching up with you. You've got, speaking of menus and serving friends at your house and whatnot, Charles, you have a business called Come On Man Cajun Seasoning. And I'll put I'll pin the website in our chats here. But
Oh
tell
man,
us,
look at that. All
yeah,
right.
tell
I
us a
like
little bit
that.
about the business you got going there, how people can how and where they can find the products and all of that good
Well,
stuff.
it's not nationally. It's not on all the grocery store shelves. I wish I could just send you to Kroger, but that's not the way. Uh, I'm in a lot of mom and pop shops, and I do a lot of business online.
Okay.
So, especially for the Cincinnati people, I'm going to have to give you my website, and you can order it off the website.
Yeah, please do.
It's www.comeonmancajunseasoning.com. I know that's a mouthful, but I think you can just Google my name and it will pop up somewhere along the line. But I have 3 hot sauces. I have an all-purpose seasoning, a fish fry, and my favorite is a crab ball. It's a crab, crawfish, and shrimp ball. And if you like to ball crabs or seafood, shrimp and crawfish, I don't know if you guys get get crawfish that far north. It'd be kind of expensive to do it, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, people can I think this was I think I found the boil that you're talking about here. I'll pull that back up. People can order this online and have it shipped to them. Is that or do they
Yes,
have to
sir.
go into Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everything it's pretty easy. Even I'm not a computer guy, and I think I could find my way through this website here. So it's pretty easy to walk through and place your order.
Awesome. Well, we want to push that out to our listeners and we'll be putting this on cincyjungle.com as well. So we'll definitely be promoting that. And I'm gonna partake. I like sauces and rubs and seasoning. I'm kind of a griller and
Okay,
a
okay,
cooker here and there.
okay.
So I will definitely partake in this for sure and order some good stuff there. And Charles, this has been an immense pleasure. I'm sorry it's our first time that we've had John. We'd love to have you back on, particularly hopefully talking about a Bengals win after this weekend. But sometime down the road, if you're willing and able, we would love to catch up with you and have you back on the program.
Well, you tell Big Mike that Chucky Fred doesn't mind. I would love to do it.
Awesome. Well, it's been great talking to you, meeting you. Have fun this weekend, and we will catch up soon. I appreciate the lengthy amount of time. Very generous with it, and I appreciate that.
No problem. Who dey, man?
All right. Hooday, Charles. Thank you. That was Charles Alexander, former running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. Gave us like 30 minutes. Can't even believe it. That was awesome. And thank you, Mike Holbrook, listener, for making the connection there, as you have with many other guests that we have had on here. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. This has been quite the week. And there's still more to come. We're going to have more of a fan-centric show tomorrow. I don't even know what that's going to look like really, but we're going to get a lot of you on the air, whether that's listener questions and all kinds of stuff. But hey, Tim McGee earlier this week, we had our Deep Dive Wednesday show. We had Ken Anderson earlier today, Charles Alexander today. We have, we've got an interview going up with Chad Johnson that John and I were able to do a little earlier today. We're getting that all produced and prettied up for all of you. Chad Johnson, we got to speak with him. I can't even believe it. And of course, we've got an potential in-person event with Anthony Munoz. So we'll be locking that down and doing all of that. Of course, weeks prior, we had Icky Woods and many others on the show. So it has been awesome. Hopefully you have enjoyed this as much as we have. Also, if you're following us at Bengals OBI on Twitter, we've been in on the Bengals press conferences asking some questions there specifically. So you can follow it on the Twitter account, on Cincy Jungle's Instagram page. You can find little clips, or if you go on NFL.com, you can find the entire press conference snippets there. And so, yeah, hopefully you are enjoying the trying to be a big amount of coverage that we are bringing you. Our thanks to Charles Alexander for this specific show. And we'll keep hammering you with all kinds of stuff. We appreciate it. And man, this has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun doing this. It's been a lot of fun bringing this to you. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully you all have enjoyed it, and we got more to come. So you can, if you're new to this program, welcome. You can go and subscribe. I believe it's right down here. There's a little icon there. If you're watching on YouTube, you can click that to subscribe. Click the bell to be notified when we go live, when new content is available. We have a Cincy Jungle podcast audio channel. So you can get our show, Orange is the New Black, from Mason Zim, Coach Speak, and Chalk Talk with Matt Minnick. Of course, if you like the Cincy Jungle Facebook page, we live stream there. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Follow us. Give us a thumbs up. Listen to us if you like what we're doing. We appreciate all the support. And hey, thanks. I'm seeing. Thank you. Great show. I appreciate everybody. And hey, this has been fun. This has been fun. And all these guys that are coming on our show have been incredibly gracious with their time and willingness, and we can't thank all of them enough. We'll see you next time. That was Charles Alexander. Go catch up on the Ken Anderson interview. Go catch up on the Tim McGee interview, our Wednesday night show. We'll be putting out the Chad Johnson interview very soon. Go get all that stuff, how I just mentioned, and we'll keep bringing you stuff. We'll see you soon.